Welcome back again. In this lesson, we will be adding our user class, which is actually very similar to our item class. So let's go ahead and say file, new file. And in Cocoa, I'm going to say it's called the user class. The reason I have a suffix class for all of them is it just simplifies some of my work. You don't have to have it, but it's just a good practice if you ask me. So next and create. Very similar to what we did before. In my .h, I have some properties. These properties are property, and one of them is going to be, actually let's retain this one, as a string name. All right, and copy it 2 times. The other one is going to be email, and the last one is going to be UID. Now, something to keep in mind is that at the beginning of our application, when we don't have any connection with any cloud servers or our Firebase backend, we don't really need the email or UID, and that's what makes it a little bit difficult to understand exactly what we do. At the beginning, we leave these two default values, that these default values are going to be there at all times if the user is using the application the offline mode. And if the user chooses to go online, then these 2 values, they actually get populated and we use them. So let's keep that in mind. And of course, I have my init. Let's say with, and as a string, I'm going to call it input name, and as a string, let's call it input email, and finally say, actually maybe I just change the names a little bit, and email and UID, and that's going to be as a string input UID. And let me just bring this few lines down, stack them. So that's my .h file. 3 properties and 1 initialization method that we still have to define. This is the declaration. We need to do the definition real soon. So let's move on to that. I'm going to copy this. My .m file, I'm going to keep it here. Say in my .m, very similar to what we have done before. So name becomes input name, email becomes input email, and UID, of course, becomes input UID, and return self. This class is kind of finished now, but not exactly. Our item class is going to be like this almost absolutely till the end of the development, but our user class still needs some work, and that is because we want to use this to read and write from disk. And for that, we need something called NS coding, and that's something that's going to come up in a few lessons. And then we're going to come back here and make some changes. Actually, not changes, we're going to add some new methods to here. So don't worry about that just now. For now, this is going to work perfectly. I'm going to leave it like this, and you can pause the video if you want. And let's keep it like that for this lesson, and then we move on to our next.